Yo, 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 this is Kenny Rosillo, and I'm here to give my presentation for my English midterm exam. Now, for this presentation, I'll be discussing the four terms, which are collocation, idiom, cliche, and hypercorrection. I'll be explaining what a definition is for each term, as well as the examples used for the terms. And I will also be explaining one of these examples and elaborate on where I found them, and when is the proper time to use them. The first slide I'll be showing are the four terms I mentioned that we'll be going over, along with examples associated with them. Now, the first term we'll be going over is collation, and one of the examples I provided, which is give credit, cliche and they all lived happily ever after, idiom and let them cook, and lastly, hypercorrection and whom is it. Now, with that out of the way, what is a collocation, you may ask? Well, to give a short description, collocation is a group of words that often go together, similar to having a group of friends that you see hanging out with all the time. So in language, these friends are words that sound neutral and flow well together, like make a decision or heavy rain. I've listed a few examples as you can see in the slide, so you can have a better understanding of the term. Moving forward, we'll be discussing one of the examples for collocation, that being give credit. To explain what it means, give credit means that you give recognition to somebody's contribution or accomplishment. Basically saying great job for the hard work or giving them credit for the hard work. An example I can use is that let's say you're doing a class project with some friends and you did a good job, you all got a great grade which of 100. You would say, I want to give credit to all of you for doing the part to get a good grade. And the next term I'll be going over is a cliche. Now what is that, you may ask? Well, to explain simply, it's a phrase or opinion that is used very often and that demonstrates a lack of original thinking. In other words, it's a line or action that is commonly used, usually in movies or TV shows. It becomes predictable what is going to occur. Some examples you probably heard of before are Saved by the Bell, we're not laughing with you, we're laughing at you. And at the speed of light, to name a couple. And one of the other examples I want to elaborate is in the All Lived Happily Ever After. This phrase is commonly used within stories, usually in fantasy stories, usually where the protagonist fights some dragon, they save the princess, they get married. With all that occurring, it signifies that the story concludes in a light-hearted manner, with all the main characters survive to the end, thus they all lived happily ever after. So that's the explanation. The next term, which I would say is my personal favorite, is an idiom. What's an idiom? Simple. An idiom is a phrase that has a meaning that you cannot understand just by looking at the individual words. So it's like a special expression with a hidden meaning. Give more context on what I mean. Let's say you're having a conversation with a friend and they say a sort of words that you don't understand, like piece of cake. At first you feel like, what do you mean by that? And then the friend says, oh, it just means this is super easy. Now, to give more information on one of the idioms like one of the idioms is let them cook. Now, let them cook is more of a newer idiom that hasn't been around for decades compared to piece of cake like that. That is more commonly used in the younger generation, such as myself, like 24 to 18 or younger. It's also commonly used within social media like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or X, which is where I found let them cook. And to explain what it means, it is commonly used whenever someone is about to do an action, then the other person feels the confidence that they'll succeed in that action. And to give an example, let's say you and some friends are playing the game Fortnite, where you're playing with those four friends, and then you're about to win, but you have to defeat one more team to win. However, the team was just too good, so they ended up killing your whole squad except you. Now with just you alone, and you have to defeat the team of the four people, one of your friends will say, "Oh, let them cook," meaning, oh, they feel confident that you're gonna kill those four players. So because of that, you ended up killing those four players and then win the game. Which is why, which is an example of how we can use let it cook, let them cook. And I should also mention that let them cook is also a mobile idiom, meaning you can rearrange let them cook, but it still has the same meaning, such as this is why we should let them cook, and we let them cook for a reason. And now, the last term to be going over, last term to be going over is a hypercorrelation. And what is that? You may ask. Now, hypercorrelation means using something that in a correct way because you're trying to be hard to be grammatically correct. In other words, um, let's say you're having a conversation with another friend, and they say something that sounds off to you. Um, hmm, let's say they let out "it is I." They first be like, "What do you mean by "it is I"? You- Do you mean "it is me"? Because "it is me" is more commonly used whenever you're referring to yourself. However, "it is I," while that is also commonly used, it just sounds more weird. Hopefully, if you know what I mean. Okay, to give another example, here it is. Given another example of hypercorrelation, oops, sorry, another hyper is whom is it? Now, whenever you're referring to somebody, like let's say somebody calls your name, say who is it? Some people will say whom is it? Where it could sound weird for other people. It's not really correct. Okay. Let me rephrase that. Sorry. Many people will normally say whom is it whenever somebody calls them, but the real saying is who is it? WHO, not whom is it, which is WHOM. So yeah, and that's the end of my slide. So thank you for watching a PowerPoint, and hopefully I will hear from you and what type of grade I will be getting. So thank you.